So the word isolation and seclusion have a special meaning in our religion because it allows you to stay away from evils and its perpetrators. It allows you to want to stay away from people who are foolish. You want to keep them at a distance. When you seclude yourself from evil in this manner, you will have the opportunity to reflect, to think, and to grace in the meadows of enlightenment. So you can see, isolation and seclusion are very good, but not in all occasions, and I'm going to talk about the occasions where they are not really good, that you just have to interact. But when you isolate yourself from events that Allah dislike, it gives you the opportunity to truly want to seek for sincere repentance. You want Allah to forgive you. You want to recite more Quran. You want to recite more dhikr. You want to continue to do the right thing. Now, when you isolate yourself from things that divert you from Allah's obedience, you are giving yourself a dose of medicine, because with that you will now be able to reflect in the creations of Allah subhanahu just like we said, you will not be able to reflect in the ways of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is actually very good, because sometimes the kinds of people we interact with, the kind of people we relate with, a lot of the times when you notice, you might come to understand that these are people who disobey Allah a lot. Maybe you have friends that are into intoxicants. They take a lot of intoxicant materials. Friends who don't encourage you to pray. Friends who don't encourage you to read your books, or even in worldly terms, friends who don't even encourage you to grow. When you stay away from friends like this, you tend to have growth, tend to experience growth within that period of time. And doing this will also stimulate your brain, because by trying to do the right thing now and staying away and isolating yourself or secluding yourself away from these people, you will now come to understand that now you are now going to be able to reflect properly. And this, I believe, will make you to have, a positive mindset. This is actually very, very simple to understand anyways. However, just like I earlier said, not all gatherings are haram. Not all gatherings you are supposed to isolate from. There are certain gatherings that you are supposed to be seen, that you are supposed to be present in those kinds of gatherings. Among them is congregational prayers, gatherings that talks about positivity, growth in mindsets, a gathering also that talks about learning or trying to acquire knowledge. These are certain important, gatherings that are encouraged, that we are supposed to be seen in those kinds of gatherings. As for gatherings wherein frivolities and shallowness prevail, these kinds of gathering, we are totally 100% we are supposed to abstain, or isolate from ourselves from these kinds of gatherings. So finally, I simply want to advise you to fortify yourself to your purpose and to isolate yourself in your room. I think it's rather you remain in your room than being present in some of these gatherings that only talks about frivolities, unproductiveness, that doesn't encourage you to grow in any ways, and that also doesn't encourage the growth of your spiritual world. This